Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And boy, do we have a great show for you. We have been laughing and joking here before the show, so it is going to be absolutely awesome. And we've got some amazing co-hosts.
Woo-hoo!
That means Davey's in the house when I say amazing co-host. I never say that on Thursday.
No. Thank God it's Tuesday.
Thanks God it's Tuesday. Oh, poor Troy.
I know.
All right, and Amanda's in studio today, but she'll be in with us a little bit later. She's at the Clay Cam, which, as you guys know, is just a blank screen. So we won't be seeing Amanda for a while. Two great guests we're going to introduce in a minute. Before we do that, let's make some money for the show.
Let's do it.
ACRR and Associates. They're a full-service local CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top levels of service in the areas of tax compliance, planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts. If you need an audit or a review or other accounting services, they can do that as well. They also do business valuations, forensic analysis, and litigation support. You can reach Bill and Ken at 904-460-0747 or online at abearkresgeCPA.com.
And Powell Heating and Air Conditioning's dedication to customer service has been evident in everything they do. From the moment we answer your call until the time they leave your home, they're working to make you comfortable and confident about the care and service you receive from Powell. With their fleet of over 10 trucks and 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment, they are ready to serve you around the clock. This is a local favorite. We love them over there at Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. And Palencia Dental. Dr. Stephanie isn't just your ordinary dentist. She's a community superstar. When she's not transforming smiles at Palencia Dental, she's singing her heart out at the Village Church Choir or volunteering her time as director of dentistry at the world-famous and incredible Wildflower Clinic. Providing dental care to those who need it most. This is someone who doesn't just care about your teeth. She cares about you. And let's talk about the experience at Palencia Dental, Mike. From the moment you walk in, you'll wonder if you accidentally booked a luxury retreat. Relaxing atmosphere, check. State-of-the-art technology, double check. A dentist who can sing and make you laugh while crafting your perfect smile, that's a triple check. Check them out at Palencia Dental, 904-826-4343.
And she's an amazing interview.
Woo!
She is good.
Love our time with her, yes.
Yeah, that was fun. Salomon Services, it's the premier place for personal training in St. Augustine. They specialize in both youth and adult training classes. They have small group strength and fitness development classes. If you're injured and you're trying to get back on the court or the field, they can help you do that. They'll get you in better shape. You'll be stronger and fit when you do. They have a state-of-the-art center with both indoor and outdoor turf areas, and all of their coaches are certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Give them a call today, 904-461-9945. Salomon Services. I was there today and survived the first of 4 12 days of Christmas.
Oh, very nice.
I'm giving you the whole rundown later,
Did you
Davey.
have medicine ball sit-ups today?
We did Mason twists.
Oh, excuse me.
That was the 8 number. That was 8 when you got to 8.
Yes.
Pushing the sled, though.
Yeah?
30 yards, 12 times.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Davey does that in his sleep.
Put your back into it. We can do it on a bike,
does
too.
that in
Yes.
his sleep. I want to see you push the sled on your bike. We've got 2 great guests tonight.
Yes, we do, sir.
We are very, very happy. Ancient City Roadrunners.
Yeah.
Which is a phenomenal organization that's been here. I think it was the first road running organization when running became a craze in the late 70s, early 80s. And the logo, I think, has always been one of the iconic logos for St. Augustine. Mm-hmm. It's the Roadrunner with the Conquistador hat. Yeah. It's just really a cool logo. Yeah, Pedro. We refer to him as Chad Light here.
World famous Chad Light.
We do refer to the world Chad Light. So, our guest, Brian, you are with Ancient City Roadrunners.
I am.
And you've been with the club for how long?
So I've been with the club for about 3 years, and I've been VP this year.
You missed a meeting. You got nominated.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot to step back.
Yeah,
But you're gearing up for what? Matanzas 5,000,
Gearing
right?
up for Matanzas 5,000. So it is a big deal. It's our flagship 5K. We have 4 races throughout the year. We have the Matanzas 5K. We've got the Michler Mile. How do you pronounce
Michler
Mile. There's a big. Yeah, exactly.
Pete Melfi's watching. You'll be in trouble.
Michler, and then also Avalese. That's another one that's a little awkward.
Right. That's good. Gotcha. I'm glad you told me that one.
Like I have fleas, Avalese.
Yeah. So Michler Mile, which was kind of a flash mob kind of thing, now it's gone legit. We have official timing. Then we have the Endless Summer Run, which our good buddy Jim Waldron and Jim and Renee are awesome people,
legendary humans.
And then Shut Up and Run, which is an awesome race on Thanksgiving Day.
Is that Treaty Park? Am I saying that right?
Treaty Park,
nice.
That's right. So
that's on Thanksgiving Day?
On Thanksgiving Day.
I needed to know that. We had family in. We usually are out of town. They all came here this year, and we were looking for a race.
Yeah.
That would have been okay, now I know.
It's a great one, and you got to beat the pie guy, and if you beat the pie guy, you get take home a pumpkin pie. It's pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
And it's pretty generous, too.
Okay.
But that raises money for the Francis House, St. Francis House. So it's really good. But the Matanzas 5K, it's our biggest race. It's the fastest 5K in Florida, we like to say, because we've got elite runners coming out every year competing. So the guy who won last year is going to be there again this year.
Yeah?
And we've got Drew Hunter, who's also going to be there to, meet with the kids. And he's one of the founders of Tin Man Elite, which is a training group. And you can look that up on YouTube. Great channel on YouTube. And so he'll be here. So really, lots of great things going on.
Now,
but
Brian,
it's a big event because it raises a lot of money for the St. Johns County schools.
I didn't know it was for the schools. That's great.
Yeah.
Davey's in. He's running now.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I have to give myself a demerit because I was the MC of the Santa Suits on the Loose 5K over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I said Matanzas 500. And Roadrunners got on me like real quick. It's 5,000. Now I know.
Some people said, I'm doing it now.
I was definitely corrected real quick. No, you guys won best team.
That was huge. That was huge.
Do we have a tile to give these guys from the inaugural 904
from 2003?
What was it was the 0.5K run?
We did a 0.5K. So we were used to 5K or like something longer, but we did a lazy walk stroll up St. George Street, and it was a donut and beer pairing. And it was a 0.5K.
Yeah, that's for the
not sanctioned by the City River, but you guys were there. You showed up.
Absolutely,
you were happy,
yes, definitely.
They're like, we want to see what this looks like. Maybe we'll change the format.
Many fans of beer. Many fans of donuts.
See?
Many fans of the combo.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Yes. 100%. So this is the 45th.
45th.
We're
celebrating the 45th year.
That's awesome.
It's it's really exciting. Again, we have about 1,000 people show up every year. Some years give or take. Actually, we didn't in the COVID year didn't have it. I think we had a virtual option or something, and then so it was a little bit of a ramp up since then, getting back to kind of the normal
that resurgence,
numbers.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is
great
great.
to see it?
It is great, and it's also part of the Jacksonville Grand Prix series, which is a series of 20 total races for the year, but 10 races, and they're age graded for the locals, and so we have some locals. You may know Bill Phillips, of course. Bill Phillips is. I think he's won it. He's tied the record for winning the Grand Prix overall.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So Matanzas is one of the key races for that. So it's a big deal. We get a lot of people coming down from Jacksonville, and about a third of the people who come are 50 miles or more away. So
that's nice.
Who won last year? Remember?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that.
I'll let you look it up when we talk to Brandon.
Yeah.
I'll give you a minute.
Yeah.
Brandon Lyons, welcome to the show.
Sure, yeah, thanks for having me.
And you're also in the race this weekend.
Yep, I'm going to come out and support, so excited to be there.
Awesome. But you have a whole other Paralympics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just got back from Paris a few months ago. It's already been
How was it?
Going by crazy. Oh, it was amazing. My first games ever qualifying. So whole experience was unforgettable. Something that I had tried to accomplish going back to 2020. So I had just missed out of making it to Tokyo. COVID games had happened.
It's a good one to miss.
Exactly. And that's what my family told me that as well. They're like, we couldn't have been there to support you. Couldn't have been there to actually kind of see the entire experience. So kind of used that as fuel and motivation to try to make the games in Paris. And fortunately, I was able to do it this past July. Was qualified for my first games, and then went out there in September and competed. So
what's your event?
Cycling. So I'm a part of the paracycling team.
Okay.
And for those that, don't know, so I was unfortunately had a spinal cord injury back in 2014. And the way that, an individual like that were to compete in cycling is they use a hand cycle. So it's a recumbent bike that you lay down on your back. You pedal with your arms instead of your legs. So anyone that has limited mobility would be able to use that type of equipment.
Were you a cyclist before 2014, or is this something that you picked up?
No, and actually this kind of all comes together about running. So I played team sports my entire life growing up, played lacrosse through a few years of college at Penn State.
Nice.
And then when I graduated college, went into the business world, worked at a firm called Rensing EY. We have one right out of here in Jacksonville. Started beginning to kind of transition from a team sports individual into recreational endurance sports. So started to run. And that first milestone that I wanted to accomplish was I want to run my first marathon, right? Everyone kind of has that on a bucket list.
Oh, yeah.
Signed up. I was living in DC at the time and signed up for the Marine Corps Marathon.
Great run.
Huge event down in DC where all the Marines come out there and are just lined throughout the entire city. So I signed up for that and was training, preparing for that, ready to check that off my bucket list. And unfortunately, halfway through my training regiment is when I sustained a spinal cord injury. So dove into shallow water, unfortunately, broke my back. God. And I was 24 at the time. And I thought, running was done. I thought that, being able to check that off my bucket list was never going to happen. And whenever I came out of the hospital after sustaining my spinal cord injury, one of the first pieces of equipment that I got, just a way to kind of get acclimated and stay active. I was always a very fit individual and sport was very, important to me, was this hand cycle. Took it out the first time, hated it. It was so hard to get out of the driveway. I mean, just envision trying to use your upper body for something that you always use your lower body for.
Right.
And just thought it was very, very difficult. But it was something that I needed at that time to help me, be motivated, stay driven, try to overcome this crazy type of adversity that had, kind of hit me right in the face. And the second time I took it out, I went out and I did 26 miles.
The second
time. First time I could barely get out of the driveway.
I'm glad you could underachieve the first time, right?
Second time, I'm going to go do this loop. And I was living in Pennsylvania at the time and go around this little island over and over and over again until I had 26 miles. And when I did that, I just immediately thought, well, why can't I do the marathon in this? Let me contact the organization and see, is there an opportunity to do so? When I was looking into the research of it, I saw, there's a hand cycle division within the marathon. Called them up, told them my story, told them everything that had happened. They were willing to be able to switch my registration from a runner into the hand cycle division. And there I was then 4 months after being injured, now towing the line for that marathon. And then getting through that race and being able to check that item off my bucket list, I'd honestly think was, that was really what I needed at that time and allowed me to kind of prove to myself was, every single finish line is going to be different, but the way that you can get there, you can still accomplish anything that you want. Yeah. And that was such a huge mindset change for me that I think honestly just was the catalyst to, me having success and me being able to overcome terrible injury.
What's your mental game like on that, though? I mean, you're making it sound like you just, I have limitations and I'm just going to try something else. But what were you saying to yourself? We live in such a society where people just put themselves down constantly.
Sure.
I'm too fat. I'm too thin. I'm too old. You know what I mean? Like, what are you saying to yourself that this is a remix to my life and I'm going to be a champion no matter what. I'm going to be the best at whatever I can do. How do you get through that mental gamut?
Yeah, for me, honestly, it was a way for me to just put all the negativity out of my, literally letting it affect me.
Yeah.
It was like starting from day one, this was going to be what I wanted to accomplish. I didn't want to let something dictate what my future was going to be. Again, because I was so young. I was only 24. I had everything that I had done.
You're still so young, just by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was always successful in what I was trying to accomplish. And when that happened, I wasn't going to let that dictate, what was going to happen to me. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things for me was when I was in that rehab hospital. Again, I broke my back from a diving accident, dove into shallow water. And when I was in that rehab hospital, I remember I met an individual who was around the same age as me, but she was in a full electric wheelchair. She was paralyzed from the neck down. She could not do anything, independently. She was very dependent on everyone and their caretakers and everything that was going on. And we were just, sharing our conversations of what had happened. And she told me that she was in a diving accident, dove into shallow water, broke her neck. And that was such a pivotal moment at my time to be, you know, grateful for what you do have, because it's very easy to look at the next person just right above you and just wish that you had that. And I could see that in her eyes of going, why couldn't that have been me? That was in that guy's situation where, you know, I have my arms, I'm able to be independent, I'm able to be active and, you know, do all of these different things. So I think learning that from a very early time was exactly what I needed, because again, that's when I got home and I really just told myself, I was not going to let this dictate me. I was not going to let anyone or anything put limits on me. And I was going to succeed in anything that I tried to do.
What the mind believes, the body achieves.
Yes.
Every time.
So question training wise, right? As somebody who tries to be an athlete,
Everyone is an athlete. Can we get that right?
You went 26 miles the second time.
Sure.
So how many days between the second bike ride and the third bike ride? Because your arms had to be just dying the next day.
Yeah, it was a week. I remember I took it out because at that time I was still going through rehab, and I went out on one weekend when I got the bike, and then the next weekend, again, because everything had changed, I needed my parents to take me to this place, and went out there the following weekend. And again, I don't think I was envisioning doing 26 miles. And I remember I was out there and I was, you know, riding bikes with my family, and they're like, oh, "Okay, we're done," and I'm like, "I'm not done."
Yeah,
you gotta keep going.
You got some more gas in the tank.
Yeah, and that was kind of exactly what I needed. So, yeah, and that was really the fuel to what kind of kept me going, and honestly, how I found elite athletics and competition again. I didn't know that world even existed.
Isn't that amazing?
Until, you know, that situation happened. I thought my athletic career was done when I graduated college, let alone it required an accident to be able to find an actual pursuit of professional sport again.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things, if you're an athlete, you just enjoy that challenge of physically doing something.
Absolutely.
Right? And so for you, I mean, all of a sudden you have, hey, I can go 26 miles.
Yep.
I can do this. Yeah, I'm just wondering in your mind where you're just like, I'm not stopping until I get to 26 right now. And because it's the first time in a while, you probably had some control over,
Absolutely.
I have control about what I'm going to do right now. And that's just such a great feeling as an athlete.
That is so powerful to have that control. And again, for someone at that time when I did not have control of almost everything that I particularly lost, gaining some type of control and independence again, that was more powerful than anything. And I told everyone it was completing that marathon was more of a mental feat than it was a physical feat. Yeah. Right. I mean, it was so powerful and so, I think, influential to the rest of the way that my life occurred after that day, more than anything.
I'm just so grateful when you called that you've got somebody that was smart on the phone with some common sense that said, yeah, sure, we can do that for you, right? Because there's so many times you get somebody that's just not helpful in that situation. Yeah, I'm so grateful that that God gave you the right person on the phone to go, yeah, we got this for you. We're not going to make this difficult.
If that person maybe have said no, I don't know if I'd be sitting here today. Yeah. Right. I mean, it's just crazy. All these things kind of.
So how'd you do in the Olympics?
Yeah, I was unfortunately my journey is continually one of adversity. So I had missed out, unfortunately, of the Tokyo Games from an infection. Yep. Went out, trained those next 4 years, became one of the best in the world at my sport. Was medaling at international World Cups and World Championships. Qualified the second best athlete in Team USA going to the games. Was very on, I think, the correct trajectory to perform well at the games. Unfortunately, while I was there, just so many things, again, talking about control, things that are out of your control go into the Olympics, of being in the village and having everything, kind of, you don't have a schedule. Everything is kind of just up in the air. Unfortunately, got an infection while I was there, right before I competed.
No way.
So worked everything really for the last 4 years of trying to make it here, made the games. And then when I get there, again, something that's out of your control, unfortunately got sick.
Did you at least get to opening ceremonies?
Went to opening ceremony, still competed.
Okay.
Just understanding going into the events themselves, I was not going to be at my best, so I was not going to be able to perform that way. But my family came the whole way out there. I went the whole way out there. I'm one that wants to see things through. So went out there, unfortunately, didn't compete to my very best. Didn't come home with a medal is that one that I wanted to. But again, something that I've always taken a negative. I've used that as motivation to look towards the next one.
Absolutely.
And the games are in LA. So what better place to get my first medal back on home soil in the US in 2028?
Let's go.
Well, that was my question. You're training again. So listen, I think it's absolutely amazing. Your story and how quickly you got to the Olympics and to be one of the best in the world. That is just a tribute to your work ethic and your mental fitness and just saying, hey, I'm going to get this done. I will be praying that you medal
I
And
appreciate
now
that.
I'm following. Now I
Yeah.
got to follow you. So I'll have to be watching, and we'd love to have you back on. Bring the medal.
Absolutely.
So we
Appreciate that.
the deal is you come back on with the medal after the
Sure.
LA games. We just want you to
I
brag.
have the Olympic ring,
Yes,
but I need the medal.
we want you to have the
Yeah.
medal.
I need
That's
to get
it.
the extra bling.
we want you to have that. Okay, that was 10 minutes.
Yeah, did I find it? I think I did.
Who was your winners last year?
Yeah, the male winner was Eric van der Els. His time was 14:23, and
That's about your time, isn't it, Davey?
My age. But yeah.
No, the year you were born.
Oh, that's it. 14, 23.
that's right.
Yeah.
And the female was Sarah DeSenza, and she did it in 16:36.
Wow.
So Eric is coming back this year, so he'll be back. But we've also got some other, as I mentioned, Drew Hunter. I think he's in the 13s, a 5K. So it's going to be pretty competitive.
Yeah.
And that's a really fun part of it. Is just to
It's
see-
nice
see
to
the
know
elites.
that as I get through the mile and a half, somebody's already done.
Is it?
It's so nice to know, right? It's already over. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can just kind of slow down a little bit. So
So Brian, but talk about Ancient City Roadrunners. There's different talents of all different sorts, right? I mean,
There is.
talk
I
about
mean,
the team.
So I think that's important to highlight is that there are some people who are very, very competitive, and then there are others who are just, maybe they're new to running or getting active. And so they're, getting up off the couch and they're going for a walk. And so we do have a pretty good contingent that is walking, and some of those are people who are competitive runners in the past and
Or injured, right?
or injured,
Yeah.
right? And I think a really important part of the club is the relationships that you build, and and people talk about the different adversities that they encounter and how do you overcome those and that kind of thing. So, but then of course a lot of the things that we're about is ultimately promoting running, of course, within the community, but also doing so with the youth. So we have the annual summer camp that we do, summer run camp. The events around Matanzas 5K, having Brandon and Drew come talk to the kids, and being able to raise money for the teams, the cross country teams. So every year we've been able to get increase that a little bit more, and St. Johns County has been a huge help in that. The TDC has really helped us out with that and made it possible for us to give more money to the kids.
That's great.
And it's great to see the kids. And as you know, the one kid who won Santa Suits,
Yeah.
and he's doing great all around out of
Right?
St. Augustine High.
He was busting trying to get sub 16 that morning, but
Yeah.
I mean it was so windy.
Yeah.
There was the elements where I were stacked up against him.
Yeah.
and he
But,
wore
yeah.
the wrong Santa suit. Had the wings on it and stuff. Just the drag was killing him.
He was
The drag was terrible.
hauling it. It was so cool. It's cool
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
Ancient City Roadrunners because it is. You have a big history, right? Your family does, at least with Ancient City Roadrunners.
Well, they did. So my dad was a big runner
Okay.
in the 70s and 80s, and he and Dick Watson ran every night. And they did all these road races together. They had a friend, John Daniels, who was a few years older, and they would give John just this unbelievable grief. John would go to the races with him on Saturday night. John, we're leaving Saturday morning.
Yeah.
We want to come back Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So can you finish the race on time so we can be back Saturday afternoon? And they just constantly give John this hard time. But yeah, they ran all the time, and just was a lot of good people. The Hollingsworths were heavily involved,
Yeah.
and I think it was Don Hollingsworth for the
Yeah.
longest time.
Yeah.
Just a mainstay in Ancient City Roadrunners. I can't remember going to a Roadrunner race in all the years I've been that I didn't see Don somewhere around
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, some of these people I haven't met, but it's so great to hear the story and be able to sort of build on what they've done. And this wouldn't be possible if they hadn't started things up and really built the community.
Well, and I think, and I could be wrong, I'm wrong a lot, but I really think that was the first road race in St. Augustine.
That may be.
I honestly think because
Yeah.
it was one of those, we would drive places. You get in a car and you drive an hour to go to a road race.
Yeah.
And a lot of times Dad would drag my brother and I along. We'd run the fun run when we were little, and then you kind of graduate up to, okay, you can run the 5K. But it's the first one I remember was like, oh, I get to walk 3 blocks to the starting line, and we
Yeah.
get to run in that. And it's just,
Yeah.
thanks for, I'm freezing to death, Dad, but thanks for bringing me. This is awesome. Because some of those road races in the early years, right, the 80s, God, the early 80s were just a really cold time here in St. Augustine. I mean, we had some of the worst freezes we ever had. And it was always like, oh, yeah, the race is on Saturday. When's it going to be 29 again? Yeah, Saturday morning. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
Makes you run quick.
Yeah.
Knees to neck.
That never helped me. I just ran.
So, Brandon, talking about like the youth and listening to you talking to them, and like, is that inspiring for you? Like, talk about that journey and talking to younger people, and how do you connect with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've ever since my accident, I mean, I've had so many opportunities to speak to the youth, and they're one group in particular that I think can learn a lot from my story, and especially at that age, right? I mean, that's something that they can take, and then they almost make it feel like they can do anything, right? It is someone that they can look up to, and you know, if they're having difficulties, you know, within their life, they can relate, right? And say, well, this guy was able to accomplish, you know, his dream. He got there a different way. Why can't I do it? Right. I mean, there's so many figures, whether you're a little kid, you're looking up to, you know, professional athlete, you know, that you see on a TV, right? It's a great opportunity to see someone in person, see what they've gone through, and then use someone as motivation for themselves. So anytime I get an opportunity to, you know, speak to the younger group, you know, always happy to do
so. Who inspires you?
Davey Hartzel.
You know what? First time, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I've met so many people throughout my time, particularly who I've, you know, leveraged motivation from. There's one individual named David Bailey, very similar, you know, situation to myself. He was a professional motocross athlete, world champion, got an injury, unfortunately broke his back, and then used that as motivation to go on to become an Ironman world champion. Wow. Went out to Kona, did all of that, and that was one of the first individuals that I met early on in my, you know, athletic career post my injury that really became a mentor and showed different opportunities of, you know, this is how you can do it. These are the different, you know, opportunities that you have in front of you. Again, back to that, don't let anyone put limits on you. So
faith over fear.
Yeah, so it was such a great, you know, mentorship and friendship that I was able to, you know, find early on.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And I would think with the kids, you immediately have credibility with them.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they a lot of us as adults trying to connect with kids sometimes like, what'd you do? You didn't do anything. Right. And then you come and tell your story, immediately you have credibility.
You got to have riz.
Yeah. Where they look up to you and they go, oh my gosh, the accomplishment. So yeah.
And I think speaking to children as well, they're always so excited, right? I tell everyone there's two groups that love seeing the bike, love hearing my story. Kids and dogs. If I see a pet that I'm on that bike, they're all after me. Kids the same way. They're so excited, and I think that there's no better group to talk to than kids because they are so curious and just want to ask questions. I mean, they're truly their authentic self that they're just asking questions out of curiosity. So always love talking to those groups.
So riding the bike, worst dog story you've got?
Yeah.
Like how far did a dog chase you?
So not as much around here just of how populated it is, but before I came here, I was living out in Colorado and going out into some of those rural areas where farmland, there's no such thing as fences.
No, it's open fences.
Yes, where you go out into a street and you know, talk about, you know, kicking the intensity up, or I'm going to go out for an easy ride today. Dog comes out after you when they're at your face at that level. You immediately start doing, you know, high intensity. You know,
absolutely. Yes, you have to go.
Efforts. So I've had
do a little Tabata 20 on 10 off. Yeah,
many dogs chase after, and they've never gotten to me, but very, very close.
Now in
It's
Colorado,
testament to your speed.
Yes, exactly.
In Colorado, were you at the training center? Were you in
Colorado Springs?
Oh my goodness, I spent so many summers there.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, I was a distance swimmer for a long time, and I lived there for summers.
Yeah, I lived there. I lived there for 3 years.
Best food of your life. Yes. Honestly, you get treated like a king. It's
exactly.
So fun. Yeah.
I was the first hand cyclist to be a full-time resident there. I moved in there. Crazy part of my story was I was injured May 24th, 2014, so on Memorial Day weekend. Moved in there 3 years to the date. So I moved in May 24th, 2017. Wow. And to your point, I mean, it was such a neat experience. Again, I talk about the time when I don't know what I'm going to do, and now I'm in the Olympic Training Center, the same place where Michael Phelps lived, Katie Ledecky, you know, all lived and trained.
Davey Hartzel,
exactly. I saw your name.
There it is. I was hoping
you were going to say that.
They knew.
If you want to party, I'm just kidding. But that's awesome. That's great.
Very, very neat.
Altitude training is amazing too because it's like, you know, natural steroids. You're kind of just like building your body up and your lung capacity. It's amazing. Have you ever trained out in Colorado? It's a different kind of run.
No, I've done some long hikes and some walks out there at elevation.
Yeah,
mostly rewarded with bourbon at the end.
Yeah.
I think the longest one I did, I was blessed before I got married to my wife. Her family invited me to hike the Grand Canyon. So I got to hike from the North Rim to the South Rim. And the only thing back then, being in from Florida, you're like, oh, it's May. I'm going out there. It's going to be nice and warm. No, snow on the ground, open air on the North Rim the first night.
Florida.
Yeah, that was cold. I think I had one pair of jeans in the bag. I'm like, we're going to Arizona. It's hot. Was so badly prepared for that. The elevation just crushed me the first 2 or 3
But then
days.
hot at the bottom.
Hot at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, and then people say, how are you doing? I said, well, I don't know. And they're like, are you drinking enough water? I said, I don't know because I'm from Florida. And when my shirt is completely soaking wet, I know I need to drink more water.
Yeah, that's our.
Your shirt never gets wet out there.
Nope.
Right? It may be between the backpack and you, and that's it, right? And then you take that off, and 30 seconds later, that's gone. So you have no idea as a Floridian how much water you're losing when you're out there exercising and walking. It's crazy.
I will tell everyone, though, I mean, moving from then Colorado, where I lived there for 3 to 4 years, then moved here in the summer of 2020 and started training here. They are right when they say humidity is the poor man's elevation.
Yeah.
Because that is a
smacks you
different
around.
battle
Yeah.
to get adjusted to and acclimated to.
I used to love Bikram yoga until I moved to Florida. It's like, it's the same. Are you kidding? There's no difference there. Yeah.
That's like November here.
Right.
That's like November.
That's right. Yeah. Sweating is our currency.
No, it really it does. You watch players that move here, right? And it's just that humidity just crushes them the first little bit. I think you get used to it obviously as an athlete, but it takes time, just like the elevation, to kind of get used to just pushing through that wall. And then for us during the summer, I mean, I always joke, we walk outside for like 5 months and you cut a hole in the humidity and then walk out. I mean, you're just so happy when it's under 70 degrees, right? Just it's off. Where do you train here?
So I live out in St. John, so I'm right off of 210. So I do a lot of my training, whether it's indoors or if I'm outdoors on the roads. It is great. They do have a lot of bike lanes out in that area. It has been growing significantly, as you all know. But go out towards like Penny Farms area, Molasses Junction, out towards 16 and things like that. So people will probably see me out on the roads. That's kind of where I do a lot of my training out there.
Yeah, Penny Farms there's parts of that are a great ride out there.
Yes.
There's other parts out there like death defying.
Yep.
We had a job out there for a line. You're like, okay.
Well, there's a lot now because I live right off of Silverleaf, and just to get to a lot of the roads that I do a lot of my riding on now, just the amount of traffic makes it very, very difficult. But once I get out there, I still try to get out towards like Molasses Junction and Hastings area where it's a little bit more rural and quiet, which has great training.
Are you riding? Are you riding this weekend? Or I'm sorry, the race on the
Matanzas 5,000 in January.
Yeah, still up to date. Going to go out there for the event. Obviously to talk to the kids on Friday, but would love to go out there and put a fast time down.
We'd love to see that.
Yeah.
What's your fastest time in a 5K?
Oh gosh, it would be very, very fast. I mean, let's run to a marathon, a little over an hour, like an hour.
Okay, cool.
Hour, 2 minutes.
Okay.
For a marathon. So we're riding around 25, 26 miles an hour, 26 miles an hour.
So you're going to be on the front. You're going to be in the front line.
Yeah, it would be very fast on the bike.
Yeah.
So Matanzas,
I do a marathon in an hour too.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's gonna break your dad's record.
I don't think Dad ever made it to the marathon. There's a sad story. He was training for the Boston Marathon, and he was up to all the distances and everything. And a couple weeks before he's supposed to go, he has this dream that this raccoon is chasing him. So he kicks the raccoon in his dream, and he connects with my mom's shin and breaks a toe. And that was the end of the.
Take it to the next toe.
It wasn't gonna work.
Yeah. See, swimmer's very different here.
Your dad needed to talk to me before that.
See?
Yes.
He would have been towing that line.
Yeah. No, that was so he never did. But they did a lot. I ran cross country my freshman year at Florida Southern, mainly just to do something because I'd been a basketball player in high school and you wasn't going to play in the college
Shorter
level.
shorts.
Yeah, and they were shorter shorts than the basketball shorts at that time. They were the only ones that were shorter than those, Davey. But a lot of the guys were running in that Marine Corps marathon every year. They loved that race. They thought that was just a great race to go do.
Yeah, I'd done it a handful of times after that just because of the community. I mean, there's over 30,000 runners that I think that would show up every single year.
Yep.
But the streets are full the entire way.
Yeah.
It was so neat and so motivating. The flyover, right, with the Marines being right there too, is just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Do you know Keith Brantley?
I do.
Yeah. So Keith is a good friend.
Yep.
Really, and his wife Kim. Kim usually probably does pretty well in those races.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, she'll run. I'll see her, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? Well, I just ran 12 miles. I'm going to run another 10, and it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
she just never.
And that's after 300 push-ups or some crazy thing.
Yes,
so
100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Keith was I think he went to the Olympics, or he went to UF. I can't remember if he made the Olympic team or not, but I think
he did. He did. He was in Atlanta.
Yep.
So yeah.
Good.
Actually, Keith and Kim have come to the camp each year to speak to the kids.
Can we talk to them? We talked to them on the afternoon.
We
show?
did. Yeah.
We interviewed them. That was great.
Yeah. So
talk a little bit about the race, though. Coming up, what's the date?
So it's on January 18th.
Awesome.
And so we're gonna have packet pickup the night before. And actually, this is something new we're doing. We're trying out a pasta dinner for those who want to, and that'll be a little bit of a fundraiser. And
fun. That's a great idea.
And then Drew and Brandon get together with the high school kids as well. We'll have pizza for that. And yeah, I mean,
where are you doing that event at?
So the everything happens around the Keterlinus gym.
Okay, cool.
And so we'll have the packet pickup in the gym, and actually that's where the awards ceremony and all that will take place. So yeah.
Where's the race exactly?
It's Castillo. It's off of Castillo. Start is at Castillo, and then finish is kind of by the garage.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, and it's fun. Last year was the first time that I wasn't running it because I was volunteering, so I was able to take pictures of the elites coming in. That's the unfortunate thing for the the bulk of people running is they don't get to see the really fast guys come in. So I'm excited to see that.
We get a glimpse of them at the start line.
Get a glimpse at the start. Exactly.
You got to get a photographer at the finish line. It is it's so important. Yeah.
I bet you know a guy.
I know a guy.
All right.
Absolutely. He's amazing.
All right.
So
very good.
Yeah, Wayne Fusco. Everybody loves Wayne. He's amazing. Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, that's cool. How many years has the race been?
45. So celebrating the 45th
it's
year.
It's older than you, Davey.
That's nice. Finally, something. Jeez.
And we're we're pretty excited. We did the shirt up to celebrate the 45th, and the medal to match. Looks a little different. It'll be a nice tech long sleeve shirt.
I like it. And it's hard to find races with long sleeve shirts these days.
Yeah,
especially in Florida. So
and it's funny. This is people have strong opinions about some are like, no, I don't want the long sleeves. Like everybody loves the long sleeves.
Yeah, it is good.
Anyway,
I might have to run now just to get the long sleeve shirt.
You need to run.
I have to run just to get the long sleeve shirt.
That's fine.
Right. Well, the goal here today was to make sure that you sign up.
There it is.
I do. Right now, I do one race a year, and that's the Bridge of Lyons run.
Okay, very good.
It's like an endurance.
I didn't know you did that. Do you really?
It's like an endurance run. It's the
hardest one. Yeah,
it's hot as Hades when you come around on Inlet Drive.
Yeah,
and it's
that's the culmination of the summer camp.
Yep.
So we try to have the kids. We have a kids a week or two before, and then we meet at Bridge of Lyons.
So you're training those kids that are beating
Absolutely.
me. You're training them well too, because they all beat me. I just want to watch them all run by.
All run right by Zaddy every time.
Yeah. You're too much. You're just too much. Listen, if you want to come back beforehand or afterhand, let us know. Send us an update. We'll do a read. Because we'd love to keep everybody informed.
Yeah.
Brandon, let us know about your training.
Absolutely.
We'd love to hear what's going on with you and where you're at. So anytime you want to come on, just reach out.
Sure.
We'd love to have you on and amazing story and really cheering for you in LA.
I appreciate that.
That's going to be
absolutely. Yeah.
You're my favorite Olympian right now.
Hometown hero. Rude. But that's hometown hero. No, good stuff. No, I'm very excited. Matanzas 5,000. Where can people sign up and
so go to ancientcityroadrunners.org.
Got it.
And go to under races. You'll see Matanzas 5,000. And there's all kinds of information about it there, as well as the link to register.
Awesome.
Are we running? Is that it? Are you running?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Amanda, are you in?
I'll get back to you.
It was not a no.
That was not a no. That's right.
No. Every maybe leads to a yes, right?
I don't know. Yesterday we found out she's not an or girl, she's an and girl.
She's an
right?
and girl.
Yeah, we had a question
true.
whether you like stockings or presents, and she said it's not an or, it's an and.
Yes.
So she's running Matanzas
And.
and Bridge of Lyons.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, Brandon,
Yes.
I like you.
Good stuff.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Such a
Appreciate it.
great
Love having you
chat.
guys in here. Love this race and
Yeah.
everything that you're doing for the community. So thank you guys very much.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
All right. And then we are going to transition because we've got to do the movie review
Yeah, we
that
do.
you guys are so excited to do.
I'm excited to see what you have to say.
I don't think you are.
I know it. It's okay. Not everybody has taste.
Amanda is talking about you again.
I'm trying to adjust.
All right. So we also have got Christmas gifts we got to do. So don't forget to get your Christmas gifts.
We've got Christmas gift
I
exchange.
have a story. I just had a gift for Amanda the other day.
Oh.
And I went
You
to give
gave
it
it
to
to
her,
somebody
and
else?
she's like, no, I don't have your gifts here.
Yeah, they're
Plural.
coming.
And then you said, neither do I.
Oh, I did today.
And I went, oh, shit. I have to get Davey a gift.
No, I
didn't have Davey a gift.
I've
And
got
so
everything. I need nothing.
I sacrificed big time for you.
A gift for you is every Tuesday. Is
No,
it?
it for me, yes. I sacrificed for you beyond anything
Oh, Lordy.
that I normally would have done for you.
Okay, I'm not looking.
Don't look,
Okay.
because I didn't wrap it.
So, okay, that means Santa Claus got this, right, Amanda?
Santa
That's
Claus
yeah,
got this.
Santa Claus got
So I went to Target, which should
Oh.
tell you how much of a
the
sacrifice I made.
casino.
I went to Target to get you a gift.
You got me the Taylor Swift book.
I
This
did
is
this
like, but this is like the gift of the Magi because I wanted this and I bought it and I gave it to my niece.
Yes.
And now I have it.
Yes.
Yes.
And on the way out, I saw this. The little golden book, Taylor Swift. So
So
in
good.
case the words are too big in this one, you have this one as well.
Is it
so
scented?
lots of pictures.
That is so fun.
So-
I wanted this book so bad, but I gave it to my 7-year-old niece because I was like, she's gonna love it more than me. And now I have my own.
And you know how hard it is for me to buy
Yes.
Taylor Swift stuff. You know how hard that
Yes,
is.
we heard all
I
about
broke
it.
every rule I have
Can't
just for
sway
you.
an election. We heard all about
Target
it. Yeah.
and Taylor Swift just for Davey
I'm
for
so
Christmas.
pumped right now. That is so awesome. Well, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.
This
Thank you
is
very much.
this is yours.
Oh my gosh.
This was not painstaking for me, but I was like hoping it was getting here as soon as possible.
Jeez, I love
Okay,
chocolate.
so that's Tony's Chocolonely. Yesterday
Tony's
you asked me what
Chocolonely.
my favorite
Yes.
chocolate was, so that's that. And you got this,
I love it.
which means you are official Yellowstonian.
I'm a Yellowstonian. I can wear the brand. I love it.
I wasn't sure if you already had that or
Darcy's
not.
not going to be happy when I wear this to bed every night.
It is
She'll
so
get over it.
cool, yes.
She will get over that. I love both of those. I love them
And
both.
my lady, this
Oh,
is
there's a present for me.
for you.
Am I here? Hi, everybody. Wrapping. Sorry for the mic.
Yeah, I ran out of tissue. Everybody got dog tissue.
I love it.
So this is Tony's Chocolonely.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the dark
I'm
chocolate
so
with the
excited.
candy cane inside. It's
I'm
really
very
good.
excited, thank you. And
Okay. What is this? It's a bag that says what?
gentlewoman.
This is the hottest bag in Singapore right now.
Seriously?
So my best friend just went over to
It's so
Thailand,
pretty.
and
It's
these
very well
bags were everywhere.
Yeah.
And all the like who's who had them, and he was like, "Babe, we have to buy these for like our peeps." So I was like, "I gotta get one for Amanda." So this came in
I'm
a
trendy
clutch.
for the first time.
Like literally, you are ahead of the trend. This is gonna go viral everywhere. These are
That
amazing.
is
This is
so
an amazing bag. This is a huge bag
Thank you very
in
much.
Thailand and Singapore. So you are just
Thank
like
you
one of the
very much.
wealthy boos out there.
So I'm
I'm very
glad
special.
that you're wealthy and Abushi, but
Uh-huh.
are people going to wonder whose bag you stole? Just
she's a gentle woman.
I mean,
She's a gentle woman.
it's ironic. I'll wear it ironically.
Oh, so good. So
Thank you so much, Davey. That
Yes.
is so special.
Very fun.
I have very basic things because your presents didn't come in. So I can't show you pictures of your presents.
no, we'll be surprised
We'll,
when New
we'll be
Year.
surprised when they
But
get here.
this is my world famous fudge.
I love it.
You guys each get.
I love a fudge.
You guys each get fudge, and I got
That's so
fudge
fun.
for the morning, guys. Also,
Thank you. Oh yeah, this is
But-
yours.
Lots and lots of thought went into this gift.
You're really excited about this, and
Yes.
I told Louis that
Lots
I was
of
a
thought
little
went into
scared
this,
because
yes.
if you're really excited, it could
Troy,
go one of
very
two
excited.
ways.
Thinking it was for him, he kept trying to open
Yeah.
this.
No.
Lovely card. Thank you. I'll open the card off the air.
No
This is-
crib.
Oh, I
exploding?
know.
No.
Mhm.
Uh-oh. Is it a fruitcake?
Candy corn soap.
Oh
I have candy
my.
corn soap.
That is awesome, actually. That's an awesome gift for you.
You know what that means? That means I'm gonna be delicious. That's what that
Yes, that means you are delicious.
Thank you,
Capital
my
D. I love
I
that.
almost missed out. Duke Cannon sells that, and they had this ad. Today's your last day. And of course, I went online the next day, and they were still selling it. So Amanda didn't buy it all out. But yes, when I saw that, I said, "This is the perfect soap for Amanda."
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, I've got presents for you guys.
Oh,
but,
I'm excited.
You'll
That'll
have
be
to get it
perfect.
after Mexico, Davey, because
That'll
it's
be
going to come
perfect.
in the day after you leave.
Of course.
Of course. And then you might get yours before we go off the air. If not, you'll
Then we'll get
when
it
you
together. That'll be
Yeah.
perfect.
I'll wait until Davey's back.
Okay.
So, movie lovers,
Uh-huh.
Everywhere. Wonder
Today-
why we're reviewing this movie.
we are diving into the wild, hilarious, and slightly unhinged world of Drop Dead Fred.
Drop that, Fred.
One of the greatest movies. I have burning questions and I need some answers from you guys, but I would really love to hear. Let's get into it. How do you want this to roll, sir?
Well, let's let Amanda go first.
Of course.
Let's let Amanda go first.
Okay.
I love this movie. I haven't seen it as a mom. So I loved it as a teen and I've watched it so many times, but then I just didn't. I owned the VHS of this.
Okay.
And when my VHS player died, I didn't replace all of my tapes into DVDs.
Does anyone
And
have a
so
VHS player?
I
You know they go for like
I need
$600
one.
now.
I know. I need one.
We
I
all
have
need one. I
VHS.
want to like translate things. Oh my god.
I want that new invention they have. It's called a phonograph. Record player. Can I get one of those?
Oh, dude.
Actually, my
Come to my
parents
house.
do have a VHS that converts into DVD. And so
I couldn't give you. I
Yeah.
don't know what's on them. That's
I
what
know.
I'm nervous about. Like I'm sorry, in my 20s I was a little wackadoodle.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's this Gen Xer.
Do any
that,
of them have titles we should know about?
I don't know.
No, so there's this Gen Xer that does videos, and she's like, all right, for all of you younger millennials, all of you Gen Z, Gen Alphas, I'm just going to tell you, if you have a Gen X or a boomer parent or loved one that passes away, if you find a VHS without a label, destroy it. Do not watch it. This is for your own safety.
Yeah,
Do not
kinda.
watch unlabeled
All of a sudden you'll have like
VHS.
Young and the Restless, and then all of a sudden it's Debbie does out. Like you know what I mean? Like you just don't know.
Have you ever had a camera that you got secondhand and you press the play and it still had a memory card in it and you were like, can't unsee that?
No.
Is this
Yes,
advice
I have.
from Tommy Lee and Pam Anderson?
No, they did not take that advice.
No, they didn't, and somebody stole that advice.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So back to Drop Dead Fred. I love Drop Dead Fred.
Why?
Shut Michael, you're so mean.
I just want to know why.
Snot face, you're
I
snot
found it-
face.
I found it as a teen and it was, I don't know, I just connected to it. And now I've gone through like college and psych and and all this. And now it's definitely, viewing it now, it's definitely like a moment in pop psychology at like when the movie was made. It was very like get in touch with your inner child and you know you got to heal that inner child in order to move forward and be a healthy adult. And so it's a whole different movie watching it now that I'm a mom, because there's a big dynamic about an overbearing abusive mom in this movie.
The mega beast.
And what that does to her daughter in particular. And so, you know, it's a whole different movie watching it as an adult and as a mother than it was watching it
That's
as a
an
child.
interesting perspective.
Yeah, because I watched it and it was just a fun kind of comedy romp that had a little bit of a heart to it.
So
when
as
I
a
was at
mother, where are
teen.
you now?
Well, as a mother, it's, you know, you look at it and you're like, oh, that is like my worst nightmare of me being that person.
Uh-huh.
And like you see it and Okay, well, in my worst moments, I might have leaned a little Mega Beast, and I need to repair that.
So you would have taped the Jack in the Box and like so that Drop Dead Fred was so okay. So you're not that much of a Mega Beast.
But you know, everyone has their bad moments, and everyone has their moments that they snap, and you're like, oh, I was such a Mega Beast in that moment. But no, I would not have. I was Team Dad on the Drop Dead Fred.
The imaginary child.
Yeah, this is a phase, and this is something that she's working through psychologically and developmentally, and like this is something we need to love our child through, not break our child down.
Not putting your kids' businesses on the street, and if you don't feel comfortable saying this, it's fine. Did they have imaginary friends? Like, was that a thing?
My kids never had like a quantified imaginary friend. They more had like toys that they brought with them everywhere.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so they didn't have like this whole imaginary friend, like talking to an imaginary friend or interacting with an imaginary friend, but they definitely played with toys.
Yeah.
And they would like have these whole conversations with their toys and these whole scenarios with their toys.
Yeah.
And so they've done that and still do that depending on, you know, what toy we're talking about. My son's into tabletop games, and now that's a whole world unto its own.
Right. True.
So, you know, I've never gone through the imaginary friend, but my husband talked about like imaginary friends, either himself or his siblings. One of his brothers had them. And so, you know, it's a conversation that we've had.
Yeah. Before I get to Mr. Snarky Pants, what's a takeaway from the movie and for you as far as like seeing your kids now and like seeing this as a mom, like what's a good takeaway for other moms out there that may not love the movie, but maybe they're not seeing it in the right perspective?
Yeah, so for me, the movie is all about, we've all been through something, and whatever we've been through is traumatic for us. And so it's about healing what's hurt inside you so that you can have an open heart and an open hand and love freely. And
sometimes that comes with medication.
Sometimes that comes with medication.
The green pill. Yeah.
So it's all about kind of acknowledging your trauma, acknowledging what you've been through, healing from it, and going forward and having healthy relationships as a healed person.
Yeah.
That's what I get from it now.
Were you happy with the outcome of like she ends up with what's his face? Ricky?
Well, she doesn't end up with him, but there's the possibility because he says to her, I just want to be one of your options. You've got all these options open to you right now with this new life. But then little Boo got Drop Dead Fred as her imaginary friend and by the tree like that. I thought that was the implication is they're probably going to date. That too far. Okay. But I don't implicitly they don't like start dating. They're the beginning of a maybe kind of conversation.
I love it.
And so it's a possibility.
I love them together. That's why.
And it's fun that it's one of those movies that it doesn't wrap it up with a bow of look, and now she's married to this guy.
Right.
Like it leaves it open, and the movie is about exploring possibilities and in a very kind of off the wall sort of way.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun that it ends with the possibility.
Okay.
Are you ready? You want me to go before you?
Because I was watching this movie last night, and I was like, Mike is going to destroy this movie. He's going to destroy this movie. And I love this movie, and Davey loves it.
Such a great movie. I mean, I have the collector's cup here. Yes. I mean, like, this is one of my favorites of all time.
This is my favorite part about movie reviews is you guys love a movie, and then I bring a completely different perspective. So I would never...
with your sledgehammer.
I would never have watched this movie in prime time.
Of course.
So I want you to know, I think I watched
Not your demographic.
I think I watched this... late night one night when I couldn't sleep. Right. And I watched it because Phoebe Cates was on.
Yeah.
And because Rick, who played Drop Dead Fred, played in The Young Ones on MTV back in the late 80s. He literally played the same character that he played there. It's almost like an English version. I think it's him. English version of Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, who does this remind me of? And I was coming down the stairs to do the show. I'm like, that's Pauly Shore. That's the Pauly Shore might have stolen that and made Son-in-Law. Right. I mean, that's literally like the whole Son-in-Law.
It's funny that you mentioned that because right before I started this movie, I was kind of doom scrolling on my phone before when I was looking for my post that I shared last night to see where I could stream it. And I got a son-in-law ad. So like right before I watched this. So as I was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of Pauly Shore-esque.
So I managed to watch the entire thing this afternoon.
Holy moly.
which I was grateful that I could get it on YouTube TV. So I was like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to pay for this. So I was like, and you guys are going to have all the sentimental things about the movie. So I'm going to give you kind of my stuff. First of all, there's a phone booth in the movie, which I thought was so refreshing.
Okay.
A phone booth where you had to have change to make a phone call, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
So funny.
Secondly, I felt sorry for Phoebe Cates' character. Because the mom, as you guys have said, was overbearing.
Mega beast.
Yeah.
But the dad was a wimp. Right?
Yeah, he walked out, Nigel.
No, it's worse than that. Someone's breaking in the house. He's got a daughter in the house.
So long,
and he waits for the police
I will
to show
give you
up.
that. I was like, how long are they going to wait for the kid? Where's the kid? Yeah.
Man up and go make sure your daughter is fine.
Isn't that the first thing you think as a parent?
Yeah, at least go get the kid. Like, if someone's actually in the house,
I will give you that.
Go get the kid.
Yeah.
If nothing else, throw the beast at the break-in people and save the kid, right?
God bless.
Solves two problems
Yeah,
with
you
one
spend
thing,
less
right?
with the jewelry.
Yes.
Less jewelry.
So I thought it was interesting. The boyfriend actually played in Black Hawk Down. He was the helicopter pilot, Michael, and I can't remember what his real life name was, who crash landed. So I recognized him from the movie. I'm like, okay, that's really good. The end of the story, I was like, oh my God, she's finally recovered from Drop Dead Fred. She's finally recovered from her mom. And now she's going to parent a child who's being co-parented by Drop Dead Fred. Like, this is Fred's chance to finally put her in the insane asylum, right? It's like, could you just leave the woman alone? And I get the kind of quirkiness, and it's kind of cute at the end, but it's like, oh my God, she's never going to.
So if Troy sunk your ship, your house, and you lived on your houseboat, would you still be able to be friends with him, like in the movie? Like, I thought that was an interesting.
You mean that's all Troy's going to do to me? Is sink my houseboat? I've known the man 30-some years. If it was just a houseboat, I'd be a happy Davey.
Really?
If it was just a houseboat. I've got scars.
I mean, I was shocked
To
that
answer
they.
your question, like, that would.
I would really.
So
test
watching
me.
that as an adult, I was like, that chick just ruined everything she owned, and she's just like, it's all still there. It's just less.
That line bothered me.
I
Yes.
was like, oh my word, that's everything that she owns.
Like, if she didn't say that, I would have been better. But like, if she
Yeah.
said that, I was like irate. I would have been like,
I know.
yeah, I'd have been over it. Yeah.
So I have to tell you, most of the people that watched this during this time frame heard Phoebe Cates, and they were all very disappointed, like me, the first time I watched it.
She's so buttoned up.
There's no pool.
There's
Where in the hell is the pool? Yeah,
There's
Phoebe
no-
Cates in a movie and there was no pool. How can you possibly do that?
There's only one dress with a little bit of
A
cleavage.
little bit of
Like
cleavage,
the
yeah.
slightest.
There's that purple
and
one,
everything else, she looks so mousy.
I thought she, and I will say this, I thought she did a really good job acting.
That's what
the
Annabella
role.
thought she was.
I thought she was. Wait a minute,
You
wait a
said
minute.
She was
Who
mousy.
was Annabella? Which actress played Annabella?
Bridget
Fonda.
Bridget
Bridget
Fonda.
Fonda.
Yeah.
I had to go look that up. I was
Yeah.
like, because I always look at the lower tier actors,
Oh,
and these
that's
guys are like their
Bridget
big breaks.
Fonda.
She has retired from acting, hasn't she?
Point of No Return. Oh my God.
Great movie.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorites.
Great movie.
Yes.
Why can't we
that's where I
watch
fell-
that?
Nina Simone. Oh, all
You
day
didn't
every
add
day.
it.
Well, we need to add that to the Wheel of Chance.
Point of No Return was good.
So,
All right, Davey, give me the glowing, gushing, 2 thumbs up, 100 Rotten Tomatoes score for the movie.
oh, 100%. I love it. I think it was great. I think it was this was a movie that my sister and I bonded over the years. And I think it's something that it is wildly bizarre. It's absurdly genius at the same time. I think it tackles some things that I think families were sensitive about. Did you guys ever have to deal with imaginary friends? Like, did you guys ever have that?
We weren't allowed to have those.
I mean, even your
They
kids?
cost way too much money to send to school, too.
What about
you had
your
to
kids?
clothe them,
Your
you had
kids
to
didn't
dress
have
them.
them? You were like, no?
I had some of my kids played with their guys, right? And some of them, but I don't know that they ever had imaginary friends. I would always kind of think scenarios out in my head.
Yeah.
So I was working through what would this look like or what would that look like in different situations. But I don't know, imaginary friend was kind of a bit far.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to know, Troy's my imaginary friend.
I believe
That's
that.
my imaginary
yeah.
friend. Yeah.
Where do you think the deep root is of the movie? Is it inner childhood trauma? Is it bad breakups, or just letting go of societal expectations?
Yes.
All of the above.
There's a lot of all of that in the movie. I'm
Yeah.
not the psychologist. I'll let him.
But you didn't care for the movie, so like, how can you like shut that down?
I found Drop Dead Fred rather extremely annoying
Yes.
Okay.
and destructive. So me as a practical guy, when you keep destroying stuff that's other people's stuff,
So you don't
that's
like
not
Matai.
a great imaginary friend. Now I understand he was
Gallagher's
trying to get
not your comedian.
He's trying to shake it up
the
a little
food
bit.
that he wastes.
Well, I mean, he's trying to shake it up a little bit. I mean, I think
I get
if
that.
they all live in these little tiny little ticky-tacky boxes of a life, and it's just the normal, mundane, every day in, day out.
I'll go right to the point. He was trying to stop the monster mother from crushing her soul.
Mega
Yeah.
Beast.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was, and the only way he thought he could get her out was to do all this misbehaving stuff.
Mm.
But I don't know that saved her because it took her until she was in her 20s to figure it out. Right.
But I think part of that is not only the abusive mom, but the pansy dad who didn't okay, if you decide that your
Weak.
wife is, the weak dad, if you decide that your wife is being abusive to your child, you don't leave the child alone without a moderating
Why
force.
he left really bothers
Yeah.
me to this day. Yeah.
It really does.
Because he was just there, comforting the daughter on the steps, and then all of a sudden he just gets up and leaves because they have an argument. Yeah, I didn't like that either. And that was a poor choice.
So she was
So no wonder why
abandoned-
she was so messed up. God
She
bless.
was
I heard he
abandoned
ended
by
up in a
both.
concentration camp.
Probably. Jesus.
gracious. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But she's abandoned by both of her parents.
Yeah.
And not only is she abandoned by both of her parents in their parental role, but the mom is actively abusive. I mean, she straight up
Well,
tells
the
her.
husband wasn't a peach either.
Well, no. And so the mom actively tells her, I made a mistake. I had a child to save a marriage, and you just made it worse. He left because of you. No, he left because of you, woman. You're a nightmare. He
Right.
left because of you.
Yeah.
And there's a line from the movie The Ref, your husband's not dead, he's hiding. Legit, the husband ran away because that woman is such a nightmare.
Yeah.
But he was a coward because he could have taken his daughter.
Watching that, I knew why Richard Dreyfuss left in The Goodbye Girl.
So many positives.
No.
Oh, my word.
I'm like mixing as much of this stuff as I can together for you guys
You
tonight.
did a great job. Thank you. So we're going to spin the
We're
wheel
going
of
to
chance.
spin the wheel. As
Troy
long as-
Blevins is calling me. I have no idea
disconnected.
why.
All right, you're late. All right, we're spinning the wheel. Let's see what movie we get.
Come on, something good, Troop.
Blazing Saddles.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited to see this
All
though.
right, when we review it, 90% of the words in Blazing Saddles will not be allowed on Facebook.
Not
We'll
that you
have to
ever
do the
care.
review straight on Rumble.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a classic, Blazing Saddles. Are we happy, Mike Davis?
Yeah, Blazing Saddles good. It's a great movie. I actually have seen that in the last year,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have to get the original version because if you watch anything on the TV, it just kind of. I think it's a really fun movie to about the halfway point, and then it kind of loses itself a little bit.
It
so.
gets a little wonky.
Yeah, but Mel Brooks has movies like that, right?
Yeah.
They do get a little wonky. But I was in the gym today, and Sal was cleaning the gym, and he had the vacuum cleaner running, and he had to go outside and blow off the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone said, is he going to switch that from suck to blow?
Oh.
And we all just started dying laughing, right? I was like, that's all Spaceballs.
Yeah.
So you just saw that movie this year.
So when we watched Spaceballs, we were all like, okay, it's fun, it's quotable, but it does drag. It's a little slow. It's not Mel Gibson's or Mel Brooks's best. So are you saying that Blazing Saddles is his best?
I thought Young Frankenstein
Yeah.
was his best.
Really?
I don't know that I've ever seen that all the way through.
And I thought if you want to, I'd rather watch that than Blazing. I mean, I think we've all seen Blazing Saddles a bunch,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'd watch either one or both. I thought Young Frankenstein, the comedy kind of kept going. It drugged just a tad in the middle with the whole monster stuff,
Yeah.
but the end of it was one of Mel Brooks's best ones.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I thought that was Marty Feldman was phenomenal.
Marty.
All right. I did
Who's
add the
brain?
movie that
Miss you
you
won't get mad.
suggested.
You added what movie?
The Point of No Return.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
American
that.
Tail.
All right. So there we go.
Awesome.
All right, Davey, get going. You got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't stop and read the book.
I gotta go make Troy famous.
Yes. Go
Oh, I'm so excited about this book because I didn't think I was going to get it, and I gave it to my niece, so it's like the gift of the Magi. I'm very excited.
I was looking all around for it in Target.
It sold out already once. You have to know
was
this.
looking all around for it. And I couldn't find it. And I was so disappointed because I was like, dang it, I got to get this book and I got to get it from Target. And I called Darcy, and right as she answered the phone, and I said, where is? And I looked up and it was on the top shelf. Who knew it would be on the top of the shelf?
How did you know that this book exists?
My wife told me.
Oh, it's very important. Yeah, it's a collector's item. So here's a great quote to finish tonight with from Taylor Swift's The Little Golden Book. It says, "I really love Christmas. I wish it was all year round."
Oh,
Isn't that nice?
that is nice.
T Swift.
I couldn't get you just one. I saw that one on the way out, and I said I have to get that one too.
Stocking stuffer. I got an and.
You're an and.
All right,
kid.
you guys have a great night. We will be back on.
Tomorrow.
We're back tomorrow. Yeah. We're back tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.